Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're traveling back to the earliest days of the Star Wars galaxy, a time before the Republic, before the Jedi Order, even before the Sith. We're talking about Dawn of the Jedi, the upcoming movie by James Mangold. This film is set 25,000 years before the Skywalker Saga, the oldest story in Star Wars history. Let's dive into what we know about this era, the ancient Force users, the dark Rakata Empire, and what this movie could actually be about. So, first things first, what exactly is Dawn of the Jedi? In canon, this is the origin of the Force, the first beings who learn to sense and use it. The movie is set to explore the first discovery of the Force and the earliest philosophies that would one day lead to the Jedi and Sith. But in Legends, specifically in the Dawn of the Jedi comics from Dark Horse, there's a rich backstory. At the center of it all is the planet Tython. If you've played SWTOR, you're very familiar, but it's deep in the galaxy's core worlds. Tython was home to the Jedi Order, Force-sensitive beings who believed in maintaining balance between the light side and the dark side. If a Jedi leaned too far into either side, they were exiled to meditate and restore that balance. Pretty different from the Jedi we know today, who strictly follow the light. Tython was also influenced by the two moons, Ashla, light side, and Bogan, dark side. Names you might recognize from the Clone Wars and Rebels when they reference ancient Force lore. But here's where things get even more interesting. At this same time, the galaxy was dominated by a terrifying civilization, the Rakata Empire, also called the Infinite Empire. The Rakata were an advanced warlike species who could yield the dark side of the Force. They used it to power their hyperdrive technology, enslave planets, and dominate entire star systems. They weren't just conquerors, they were slavers and builders of dark technologies. They created massive force-powered machines, including the Starforge, which we see referenced in Knights of the Old Republic. In the Legends story, the Rakata discovered Tython and tried to enslave the Jedi, which led to massive conflict. This war between the Jedi and the Rakata could definitely be part of the movie, though Lucasfilm hasn't confirmed that yet. Imagine an ancient Star Wars story with primitive lightsabers, raw Force abilities, and an intergalactic threat that predates the Sith. That's what we're looking at. Director James Mangold has called Dawn of the Jedi a biblical epic, similar to the Ten Commandments. It's about the first person to discover the Force and how that power shaped not just people, but civilizations. We can expect the movie to explore questions like, what is the Force? How did people first interpret it? And what happens when that power is misused? It sounds like a story of discovery, myth, and danger, not a war film, but a spiritual origin story. We don't have official confirmation yet, but the Jedi Order and the Rakata are natural fits for the story. The Jedi represent the first philosophy of balance, something we've seen teased throughout Star Wars with characters like Ahsoka and even Bendu in Rebels. The Rakata, on the other hand, represent the first true dark side empire, using the Force for control, greed, and oppression. We might even see the beginnings of the philosophies that eventually splinter into the Jedi and Sith. The endless struggle between light and dark, control and freedom. While this movie is 25,000 years earlier, it could still plant seeds that connect to Tython, which we saw in The Mandalorian, and the deeper mysteries of the Force, like Mortis, the world between worlds, or even ancient relics Palpatine was obsessed with. So that's the story behind Dawn of the Jedi, ancient Force users, the Jedi Order, the monstrous Rakata Empire, and the origins of everything in the Star Wars galaxy. If done right, this could be a mythic, dark, and epic story that redefines what Star Wars can be. What do you want to see? The Jedi, the Rakata, or maybe even a deeper look into the Force itself? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this, And don't forget to subscribe for more Star Wars lore and speculation. I'll see you next time. May the Force be with you.